From the Blues Hotel Collective, welcome to Blues Moments in Time, where every groove holds a memory and every moment echoes the truth of what came before. Today, we rewind the reel, trace the footsteps, and revisit the chapters that shaped the blues. Here is our host, Kelvin Huggins.
Welcome to Blues Moments in Time, the podcast dedicated to exploring the rich history and cultural significance of blues music. Today we focus on the events of January 23. Let's start with the cultural landscape. On the surface, January 23rd might look like just another date on the calendar, but if you listen closely, you can hear the echoes of street corners, prison yards, radio studios, and European clubs, all resonating on this day. In recent years, blues and roots radio shows have used late January, often including January 23 broadcasts, to look back at the previous year in the blues, counting down favourite albums and spotlighting artists who are pushing the music forward. These programs remind us that the blues isn't frozen in time, it's a living conversation between past and present, between the Mississippi Delta and modern airwaves. And when we mark the birthdays and memorials tied to January 23rd, we're not just reciting dates, we're revisiting the cultural journeys of artists who carried the blues from southern fields to northern cities, from church steps to folk festivals, and from American streets to global stages. Now let's turn our attention to the political climate. The blues has always been political, even when it never mentions a politician's name. We're going to take Ledbetter as an example. Born on January 23rd in the Jim Crow South, his life was shaped by racial violence, convict labour, and a criminal justice system that treated black bodies as expendable. Yet from that harsh reality came a voice and a 12-string guitar that would change American music. His songs, collected by folklorists in South prisons and later performed in northern concert halls, exposed the power imbalance at the heart of American culture. Black suffering turned into white fascination and eventually into a shared musical heritage. Reverend Dan Smith's story is political in a different way. As a street evangelist and gospel blues harmonica player, he preached and played in neighbourhoods marked by poverty and discrimination. His music, raw, spiritual and deeply rooted in the blues, offered both comfort and quiet resistance, insisting that black lives and black faith mattered in a world that often said otherwise. Even the Mills brothers, whose member John Mills Jr. died on January 23rd, navigated the politics of race every time they stepped on stage, singing songs like St. Louis Blues for mainstream audiences. They smuggled blues repertoire into the heart of American popular culture, challenging the boundaries of what black musicians were allowed to sound like. Now, of course, no discussion of blues history would be complete without exploring the music itself. Musically, January 23rd is a bridge between eras. On one side, you have the early 20th century, Ledbetter's 12-string guitar ringing out work songs and blues, Reverend Dan Smith's harmonica and voice carrying gospel blues down city streets. And on the other side, you have modern artists and broadcasters using this date to celebrate new records and new interpretations of the tradition. In Europe, blues radio has turned January 23rd into a special celebration for French blues rocker Manu Blandvin, airing his album Man on a Mission as Album of the Year. That kind of spotlight shows how the language of the blues has travelled, how a form born in the American South now speaks fluently in Paris, London and beyond. Meanwhile, labels like Rough Records continue to time new releases to this date. Elise Frank's album I Didn't Pay For It, released on January 23rd in 2026, brings a contemporary songwriter's voice into the blues and roots conversation, proving that the emotional core of the blues, truth-telling, vulnerability and grit still resonates with new generations. January 23rd has also marked the beginnings of life for some incredible blues musicians. Let's talk birthdays. First up is Huddie William Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly. As we mentioned before, he was born on January 23rd in 1888 near Morningsport in Louisiana. His story reads like a blues ballad, a life of hard labour, prison sentences and constant movement, all channeled into a staggering body of songs. With his booming voice and 12-string guitar, Leadbelly recorded work songs, spirituals, blues and ballads that would later be picked up by folk revivalists, rock bands and singer-songwriters around the world. When you hear Goodnight Irene, Midnight Special or Where Did You Sleep Last Night, you're hearing the January 23rd child who helped define the sound of American roots music. Then there's Reverend Dan Smith. He was born on January 23rd, 1911. Picture him on a street corner, harmonica in hand, preaching and praying to anyone who would listen. His recordings like God Is Not Dead and Just Keep Going On capture a blend of blues phrasing and gospel that feels both ancient and immediate. Managed later in life by Toshi Seeger, he stepped into the folk and festival circuits, carrying the sound of storefront churches and city sidewalks into new spaces. Now we can also tip our hat to Mae Barnes, born January 23rd in New York City. A dancer, singer and comic entertainer, she introduced the Charleston to Broadway and later became a nightclub singer with a repertoire that included blues-inflected songs like Blues in My Heart. She's a reminder that the blues doesn't live only in juke joints and cotton fields. It also slips into cabarets, revues and jazz clubs, reshaping itself as it goes. Sadly, January 23rd has also been a day of loss. On January 23rd in 1936, John Mills Jr. of the Mills Brothers passed away at just 25 years old. The Mills Brothers were a groundbreaking vocal group whose smooth harmonies and inventive arrangements brought songs like St. Louis Blues to a wide audience. Their sound sat at the crossroads of jazz, pop and blues, and their success helped normalise black vocal groups on radio and records during a time of deep segregation. John Mills Jr.'s death cut short a career that was already reshaping American popular music. Yet every time we hear a vocal group tackle a blues standard with tight harmonies and rhythmic finesse, we can hear a trace of what the Mills Brothers started and what John left behind. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Blues Moments in Time. Join us again next time as we continue to explore the fascinating history of the blues.